For the last month or so, I have not been able to do any writing.
First time writing in a long time. I'm not really used to sitting at my desk anymore. It's hard to consider my content creation a job right now.
I've already surpassed the word count from draft 1.
Maybe I'm not cut out to write a contemporary romance. Maybe I should stick to fantasy.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Meadow Marie and I'm an independent fantasy and romance author. It has been a very long time since I've posted a video on this channel, and it has been just as long since I've been able to do any writing. While I make my tea for myself this morning, I'm going to catch you up on what's been going on. For essentially the entire month of March, I was busy at work. I've spoken about my job a little bit on this channel, but I am essentially a contract theater technician. There was a major festival that was happening in one of the venues that I work in, and I was working the first week of it. And then what ended up happening is I had another contract to fulfill at the theater that I am a technical director at. Currently working on a production of Animal Farm, which has been a lot of fun, really. I just read the novel for the first time back in December. I finished it. So essentially for the last month or so, I don't even know how long it's been, to be completely honest, but for the last month or so, I have not been able to do any writing. And by not been able to, I mostly just mean that I haven't had the motivation or the energy or the space to do so. Theoretically, yes, I could have been writing, but because I've been spending so much time at work and I've had a lot of other responsibilities, so when I'm not at work and I do have the time at home, instead of writing, I've been doing other things to unwind. I've been watching some movies and doing a craft, which is very great for my brain. I've been playing some video games, especially with my family, which has been a lot of fun. That's why I haven't been doing any writing. This show is almost closed, and that means that I finally feel like I have the brain capacity to sit down and write. I've also been very inspired recently to write as well, so that's very exciting. So over the course of the next few days, before I go on a little trip, I want to finish this draft of Project Artlet. Finally. I started this draft back in October, I believe, is when I started. It is now April, so I really want to see if I can get this finished before I leave. I think it's about time that I finish this draft. From my recollection, I'm about a few chapters away from finishing. And then I know that I want to go back through a few scenes to just adjust the setting a little bit more. I've talked about this in a previous vlog. I'm changing the city in which the story takes place. So I think that it is very possible for me to get this done before I go. So right now, it is Friday. I am leaving on Wednesday. I have this afternoon, I have tomorrow during the day, because I do work the next 2 evenings, and then I have a little bit of time on Sunday, and then Monday and Tuesday I also have time as well. But hopefully I will have finished before then so that I can edit this video and get it out or have it ready to be posted when I'm on vacation already. So I have a few days. I think it's very, very possible for me to get this done. I am very excited about it as well. When I normally take a break, especially the one this long, it's been a while since I've taken such a long break from writing. It might take me a little bit to get back into the swing of writing. Maybe there's a chance that because it's been so long and I'm so excited to do it, that I might be able to get in right away, get into the swing of it. I'm not sure. We're gonna have to see about that one. All right, my tea. Ooh, my fridge closed on me. All right, my tea is ready. It just has to steep. I've just got a nice lemon and honey tea today, and I think I'm just gonna go get set up at my desk and get started.
writing for about an hour now, and I've gotten over 16,000 words. 16,000 words. 16,000 words. 16,000? No, not 16,000. 1,600 words. That'd be crazy if I wrote 16,000 words in an hour. I don't even know if that's possible. I've written 1,600 words, and I am feeling fatigued already, which honestly I think is to be expected. First time writing in a long time. I'm not really used to sitting at my desk anymore and putting this kind of brain energy into something. Also, honestly, like my fingers are kind of sore, which I don't know if that's a normal thing or not. I think I have some issues with my hands and my fingers and my wrists, so I should invest in some sort of protection to help my hands and wrists. So I'm feeling a little tired right now, but I think I'm going to take a break for a bit, eat some food, and then I'm hoping to write one more chapter. Tomorrow, I'm going to write the last 2 chapters because I only have 3 left as of this point. If I finish up all my chapters by tomorrow, and then Sunday, I can just work on doing some like final touches here and there, working on some setting stuff, that sort of thing. If all goes to plan, I will be done this draft on Sunday. I just need a bit of a break, I think. I did sit down for a little bit before filming this, and I was posting on my Instagram, but that's not break, you know? It's not a break. That's still me doing content and doing a kind of my job. I don't know. It's hard to consider my content creation a job right now because I don't make any money off of any of my content stuff. Full disclosure, I make no money on my content. It is mostly something of a creative outlet, especially this YouTube channel. It's also just kind of something you have to do as an author to get attention these days, is to have some sort of content so that people know what you're doing and what your books are and that sort of thing. So I do this content to be creative, but I also do it because I need to market myself constantly. It feels like I'm not always perfect at it. I sometimes go a week without posting on my Instagram just because my schedule gets busy, or I just am not feeling it for the week. And I know that it is so important to be consistent, and I try to be as consistent as I can, but alas, things happen and Instagram can be so exhausting at times. YouTube, I feel a lot less stressed about. I think that for the most part, I'm still trying to be consistent on YouTube, but obviously this video is coming out like a month in between my last one. And so I do think the consistency is good, but also I do YouTube more because it's honestly something I've wanted to do since I started watching YouTube when I was very young. And so this one definitely is much more of a creative outlet for me. And because I have a smaller kind of build of a gathering on YouTube, I don't know, I feel less stressed about getting a video out consistently, especially because they take a lot more work and I'm trying to put out the best videos that I can. I don't know. I'm not sure for me what the difference would be. But I think for the most part, I've just been doing Instagram for so long, and Instagram content isn't the kind of content that I've been wanting to create for years. It's just more an accessible one for me to do in order to promote myself and my books. I think I'm just talking at this point. I should not have been on a swivel chair in order to do this, because all I want to do is just spin like this. And so I hope that's not too annoying. All right, I'm going to take a bit of a break, and then I'm going to get back to writing and hopefully finish one more chapter. Not hopefully, I'm going to do it. I'm going to finish one more chapter. I'm going to keep this short because my phone is going to die. But update on today, I wrote about 3,500 words, which is great. I'm so pleased by it. Not sure how I feel overall about this book. There are times when I think that it's fantastic and that it is going somewhere, and there are times where I think that maybe I'm not cut out to write a contemporary romance. Maybe I should stick to fantasy. I don't know. I'm not sure. this book just ends up being something that is a fun project for myself. I think I'm okay with that. I do have a lot of fun with this book. I think I'm okay with that. I think I had kind of started the first draft of this back last summer, and I think I had that kind of headspace where it just might be something that is fun for me to work on when I'm not working on my main projects. I think I'm going to have to really consider whether or not I'm going to do a draft 3 of this. Maybe well in the future, but I think that once I'm finished this draft, I'm going to take a break from this project for a while. And then, I don't know, I could probably come back to it in the future, but as of right now, I don't think it's going to be something that I publish, or at least I like work on very seriously. So I'm finished for today. I am gonna take a break for the rest of the day before I have to head off to work, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Good morning, everyone. It is now Saturday. I have had a little bit of a late start today. I was up late last night with some of my friends, and so I knew today I just needed to sleep in and take the morning a little bit slowly. But I'm feeling good now. I've already had breakfast. I've made myself a tea. I have my water, and I'm ready to hop in to writing this morning. As I said yesterday, I have essentially 2 chapters left to write. I'm pretty sure I have 2 chapters left to write. Why am I already forgetting? I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I have 2 chapters left to write. So I'm hoping to get those done today, which I think is very manageable. It is. I should be able to get those done. And then tomorrow morning, I will work on just doing some final little touches. I've already surpassed the word count from draft 1, which is not that surprising, but it means that I'll be probably a couple thousand over last time, which, I mean, the more that I think about it, I'm just like, actually, that doesn't feel like a lot more. Oh God, I'm such an underwriter. That's okay. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. I think I'm just gonna get into this morning. Quick update, I'm about to write the epilogue of the book. I know I said yesterday that maybe this project's gonna go nowhere, and it just might be something fun for me. But I do gotta say, I do love these characters so much. I really, really do. Been getting a lot of joy recently writing sapphic novels. My reading for a very long time, and then it reflected into my writing, was very heteronormative. And that's just because that's what was popular at the time. And I still do consume that content. I do still read that content and write that content on occasion. But recently I've been finding so much joy out of writing sapphic content and more queer content. I think that it is something that is still so underrepresented in media in general, and something that still gets so much backlash for certain things. And I'm not going to go too in depth with it. This book, being my second sapphic novel, has been such a joy to write, and I love these characters so much. I really, really do. And like pretty much everyone in this book is queer. It's very much a queer unless proven otherwise. Like, so obviously I have my 2 main characters. I mean, one of them's a lesbian, one of them discovers that she's bisexual throughout this book. And then their 2 roommates, one of them is non-binary, and then one is, I mean, I think pretty coded to be a gay man. And then we have someone who's asexual, and then we have 2 more lesbians. It's just like pretty much everyone who speaks in this book that has like a role, like a big role in the plot, is queer in some kind. And I think that is just so much fun. The same goes for Project Pirate as well. That is another sapphic novel that I wrote. and a lot of the characters are queer in some sort of way. Big umbrella term of queer, of course. And I just think this is stuff that just constantly needs to be written about, and I think I'm just slowly consuming more and creating more queer content because I think it needs to be done. I don't know. I think I'm having so much fun with this. Again, even if this doesn't really go anywhere, I think that this project overall is really helping me develop some different characters other than just like in these fantastical worlds, because it's grounded in the city that I live in and the city that I've lived in for many years. That's also something really, really great for me. But I'm about to write this epilogue. We just had like the big love confession. And so now I'm checking in with my characters 6 months after that last chapter. And it's just a cute little epilogue to kind of tie things together. And then I'll be pretty much done, which is crazy to me, I think. I don't know. I always say that. And then, I don't know. Crazy is just like the word that I use, I guess, to describe when I finish a draft. Okay, I'm gonna get back into this right now. I am done. Sort of. I did type the words the end because that is the end of the story. However, I do have a little bit more work that I want to do. I've mentioned it before. I want to just go over some things tomorrow morning and then I'll be really done. I'm going to stop for today. I have been working for essentially 3 hours now. I wrote just over 3,600 words today. Funnily enough, I think yesterday I also wrote about 36,000. So I don't know how that ended up working out. What I plan on working on next. All right, I have a few different projects that I'm going to do. The first immediate thing is I am going to brainstorm book 2 for Project Pirate. Now, Project Pirate wasn't originally written as a duology. However, in one of my last drafts, I started to come up with some ideas, and I think I might make it into a duology. I personally love fantasy duologies. I think they are some of the best written pieces of media that we have. I have an idea for a second book, and I think that as a fun little writing thing, I'm going to see what I come up with. Because 5 hours on a train, it's a big commute. Next big project that I'm working on is this video essay that I've spoken about before in a few vlogs, I think. And it is coming together. It is, but the research of it has turned into more like academic research than I was expecting. And so I'm kind of changing my thesis a little bit and what the main topic is. So I think that it's going to take longer than I expected. Like even longer than I expected. Because I was expecting it to take a while because it's like research, scripting, filming, and then editing is just different than what I'm used to for these writing vlogs or like more cozy chats and such. Now it's just turned into even bigger, and I really, really want this to be as good as it can be because it's going to be my first time ever doing a video of this kind, and I really want to do this topic justice. My plan was for it to come out in March. It is now April, so obviously that's not happening. I'm going to see if I can get it done for the end of the month. It might be the next video that I post, but it also might not be. And if that's the case, that's okay. I'm not concerning myself with being on a strict timeline for that because I know it's just going to take a while. While I'm in between writing projects, okay, because I have finished Project Pirate that is currently being queried, there isn't much more I can do with that project as it is at the moment. And now with Project Artlet, since I'm going to be finishing this weekend, I am going to take a break from it for a while because I like to take a break from drafts. I think it's really healthy to do that. I try to do at least a month in between drafts to really just consume other media and do something else. And so I'm not going to be doing that, but I don't want to start a new writing project because I already have a plan to start a new one if I decide to do this sequel book. I think I'll probably work on in July. And so I need something to fill in the gaps a little bit. And I'm going to say this here, and we're going to see if I keep this in the video. Very, very excited to see what's upcoming for me. And I think I've just really needed a bit of motivation and inspiration again to write and to create. I think that recently I've been very burnt out because of how busy my job has been, and I haven't been creating as much. I've been consuming quite a bit, which is good. I have been still reading, and I've been watching movies, and I've been playing video games. It's like I am consuming, but I haven't been creating as much. Now I think I'm finally getting to a point where I feel comfortable enough to create again, which is great. I think that I am the best version of myself when I'm creating art that I'm proud of. And even art that I'm not proud of, but still creating nonetheless. I think people need to create more bad art out there, because any art can be helpful to the artist who's trying to create. I don't know. That sounded more profound in my head, and then I wasn't able to articulate it correctly.